Hello everyone, I'm Not-A-Critic, and today we will be diving into the amazing story of 1999's Tarzan. Let's get into it. Right away, we are shown the origin story of the main protagonist of the film, Tarzan. This introduction involves his parents, John and Alice Clayton. They were stranded on a remote island when the ship they were traveling on caught fire. Regardless of the circumstances, they were able to thrive in this new environment. A montage will show the progression of their home, which would be located in a huge, majestic tree overlooking the landscape. Another important side plot involves a family of gorillas that inhabit the island. Kerchak is the alpha silverback of his troops. He is voiced by Henriksen. Kerchak's spouse is Kala, a loving gorilla who is voiced by the amazing Glenn Close. Fun fact, a group of gorillas is called a troop. During this intro scene, a set of tragic events will fall upon both families. John and Alice Clayton would be killed in a brutal attack, and Kerchak and Kala would experience the death of their child in a similar attack. The perpetrator to both attacks are committed by the same individual, Saber, who is a jaguar. More on him a little later. Kala would find Tarzan in a chest. At this point, Tarzan is a baby and very vulnerable. Kala would have a scuffle with Saber, building up tension to the film. Luckily, Kala gets away and is able to bring Tarzan back to the relative safety of the group. Another key member of the troops is Terk. She is a young gorilla and is voiced by the hilarious Rosie. Right away, we the audience can get a sense of a connection of friendship between Terk and Tarzan. Kerchak approaches baby Tarzan, and after a conversation with Kala, it is decided that he could stay among the group. This interaction also leaves a feeling that Kerchak is going to be distant towards Tarzan. An amazing job by the animators being able to display so much emotion in such a small segment of time. Next, we are shown Tarzan a little older, milling around with the rest of the members. Young Tantor is a small elephant that is friends with Terk and Tarzan. He is voiced by Taylor Dempsey. This segment of the film is dedicated to demonstrating young Tarzan's transition into trying to prove to the others his value. Afterwards, we are yet again propelled forward in time to where the majority of the film will take place. Tarzan is 18 years old now. Kerchak and Tarzan will go face to face with the deadly Saber, and after an intense battle, Tarzan will get the upper hand and bring an end to Saber the Jaguar. This victory over Saber will be short-lived, as a shot from a gun is heard from the far side of the island. We the audience are introduced to the other significant characters of the film, starting with Clayton, Brian Blessed, followed by Professor Porter, Nigel Hawthorne, and ending with Jane, the lovely Minnie driver. Jane becomes interested with a baby baboon, drawing his likeness on her journal and also having a very animated conversation. And in a split of a second, the mood will change between the two. Jane begins to be chased by a troop of baboons. Tarzan would step in and save Jane from the fierce attack, and this would mark the first interaction between the two. But it also marks the first ever human interaction Tarzan has had besides his parents. This encounter with Jane will leave Tarzan split emotionally. He expresses his thoughts with Kala and Kerchak, which results with Kerchak telling Tarzan to stay away from the visitors because he feels that their intentions are not pure. Tarzan would go against Kerchak's warning and continue to visit Jane, Professor Porter, and Clayton. He does uphold restraint by not showing the visitors where the troops of gorillas are on the island, to at least have some kind of safety buffer between the group and the visitors. Tarzan becomes mesmerized over the equipment that Jane brought and the images of the world outside of the island. All adventures must come to an end at some point, and so Tarzan is left with the choice of letting Jane go or hopefully convincing her to stay by showing her the location of the gorillas. Tarzan will need the help of Terk and Tantor in order to lure Kerchak away from the group in order to make the encounter a little less violent. Once the visitors get to the location, Tarzan eases the interaction by being the middleman between the two groups. Kerchak will inevitably come back and find the visitors, making him lash out in the fear that Clayton, Professor Porter, or Jane are going to hurt someone. This point of the film will bring forth the final sequences of the story. Clayton will turn against the group and will attempt to capture the troop of gorillas. In the middle of the chaos, Kerchak will be shot by Clayton, who will then pursue Tarzan in order to eliminate any more resistance. This will not end well for Clayton, as his own uncontrolled ego will get the better of him. This will also lead to a somber goodbye between Tarzan and Kerchak. The transition of power will now be Tarzan's to uphold. The situation will now be flipped, as Jane and Professor Porter will now choose to experience a new life by staying behind with Tarzan and the group of gorillas. A truly touching gesture. Thank you everyone for watching. Much love.